Now, okay.
No.
Yeah, no, we're good. Hey. Hello, Crapshoots Hockey Podcast. It's gonna be a podcast night. No.
It's a special podcast because this podcast is dedicated to a baseball legend. Let's just start off with that. Quick news.
Yeah, R.I.P. Doc.
Roy freaking Halladay. What a legend. If you're from Canada, you know who Doc Halladay is.
Yeah,
if you're a sports fan, you know who Doc Halladay is.
It's especially tough on us. We grew up watching him. We both played ball. Like Dan played a lot more than I did, but we both, we pitched and we watched a lot of Jays games
And growing up too, it was always driving to Toronto because we didn't have the luxury of checking our phone and seeing like the probable pitcher for the day. So then it was always going to Toronto and being like, please let this be Halladay. Yeah. Please. And then you go and find out it's Josh Towers.
Yeah, it's Kelvin Escobar.
Kelvin Escobar. Yeah, like he got Doc Halladay got us through some dark days in Blue Jays.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So yeah, just wearing the jersey.
Awesome.
Wrapping the Doc and then putting the other captain back there.
Yeah, for sure.
So episode 6 of the Crapshoots Hockey Podcast back again. We bandwagoned the Leafs, which was very easy for me to do. So
I'm not gonna lie, like they lost enough games that I enjoyed it.
So there's that, right? Like, and so being a bandwagoner, I had a weird perspective on this whole week because my feelings and emotions got involved. So I want to hear what like you got to say about it.
I was going to say, I tried my best to stay as objective as possible, but I believe I wrote it in my notes a few times. We'll start out. The Ducks game was kind of shitty. We had four games this week though. So that's something we may want to take note of is the first and the last games in the series. You could tell the Leafs were kind of pooped. So we may need to consider the previous schedule when it comes to exciting
because that was their California road trip, and that's a recipe for disaster
for sure. So, and I mean, it also is a recipe for slightly worse hockey too. So, I mean, not worse. Like it's more of a crapshoot as to whether it's going to be because it's not going to be as skilled, but sometimes mistakes lead to excitement.
Yeah, and that was very much the case with this Leafs team. I mean, overall, I think when it came to the California road trip, the Leafs won a game that they should have lost against the Ducks, and you take out the first 5 minutes of the first period against the Kings, and the last minute, or actually, you know what? Take out the first period, which is impossible in hockey, but. If they would have actually competed, the Leafs against the Kings, that would have been a much different game because the last 40 minutes was all Leafs.
Yeah.
But it was one where it was all Leafs and they looked good when they were on. And then when they made a mistake, wow, the Kings capitalized every time.
Yeah. That's basically, we might as well skip Anaheim. That was pretty boring.
It was a 3-1 Leafs win, which is funny enough that we're bandwagoning the team that won, but it was the most boring game of the week.
Yeah. By far. Like I was so stoked to watch it. I was like, I don't watch the Ducks yet. Like, let's see what happens. And it was just such a plodding and like slow moving, not what I was expecting at all from the Leafs.
Yeah, you wonder if that was the game plan for the Ducks too, to slow it all down. They just didn't end up scoring, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. So here, my notes for the Kings. Kings all over them at first, but game is already noticeably faster. I get why people talking about the Leafs trading for a D.
You see it now, right?
Well, because it's like you see some of the goals, and it's like, where are you facing? It's like Luke Shen all over again.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I have a lot of Luke Shen comparisons when it comes to Ron Hainsey, but I think it's a stretch when I do that. I'm just angry.
Yeah. But I mean, despite that, they're super fun offensively, and their shitty D kind of makes it fun. Although I'm sure it's stressful for you guys when you're like really like having to watch
when you're winning 3-1 and just wanting the game to be over.
Like when you're really reserved in like the Leafs winning. Like I could care less. I just kind of wanted to see it as good as hockey as possible, and like that was pretty fun. Like I'm not gonna lie. But watching the Leafs like lose was
you get something out of it,
it's
right?
It's a nice kicker. But like I'm not upset when they score or anything because they make such dynamic offensive plays. You're like, yeah, awesome, Matthews.
Yeah. Man, and, yeah, Matthews has. Yeah, I guess that's. Well, we'll get to that to the Vegas game.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Did you notice anything other than that? Kings?
I mean, in the Kings, the one big one was Kadri sitting for a lot of time. He had a horrendous shift, which led to the third goal. I believe it was either the second or the third goal, and he gave away the puck 4 times in one shift.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Oh, it was just ugly. And so that's fun. He got sat for an extended period of time. And then going into St. Louis was kind of a recipe for disaster. It was end of a California road trip, and then it's your game before you head home. Yeah. And it looked like the Leafs were ready to go. They knew that they were at the end of their road trip, but then you could tell like end of the second period, into the third period, it was them sitting back and just trying to survive, like just to get to the end of the game. Yeah. It was a big problem because St. Louis is so good. Well, and that's and I'm surprised Tarasenko didn't score a hat trick. He had so many chances.
Yeah, no doubt. And that was the first thing I noticed is like the Leafs keep up though, like because we've watched St. Louis quite a few times already because we're expecting fast, good hockey, and
if it's not fast or good hockey, it's going to be a hit fest.
Yeah, and I mean. But what was really cool was the Leafs, like they skated with them just like Pittsburgh did or like Edmonton did. And actually, that's one thing that I did notice that I didn't write down, that the Leafs right now remind me a lot of Edmonton.
In how they're very offensively dynamic and then just multiple question marks around the defense.
Yeah, other than you guys have a goalie. So like you guys are a few steps ahead of where they were. I mean, I think they're a little bit ahead of you guys right now, but maybe not coaching wise or maybe not system wise, but like
it's a good comparison.
Depth of the organization.
Yeah. Okay. Organizational depth. I would say the Leafs have the edge.
Well, but I would say depth. I just mean like the Oilers are farther along in it. You know what I mean? Like they're more like they're pretty well solidified on who's playing which position and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Even though they kind of suck.
Well, and that's it. Is that's where the comparison to the Leafs comes in, is that they look very much the same, but essentially you're saying that that Edmonton should be a little more defined at this point.
Exactly.
The comparison shouldn't be there. Yeah. But I guess we've been talking about Edmonton for years and years, ever since they've had multiple first overall picks. They're good this year. They're going to be good this year. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, they were good last year.
Yes, I mean but pre-Connor McDavid.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So then they ended up. So Leafs ended their fourth game of the week at home.
Oh, hold on. I have a good note here from that I noticed in St. Louis. The biggest difference that I noticed is here. The Leafs let the other team set up really low in their zone, like right at the circles.
Yeah. Oh, it's beyond frustrating. And then that happened all the way through California. Absolutely. Yeah.
That was and
once the team figures it out, it's over.
Yeah. Like it was just crazy. They're just like jumping up in the circles and they're passing it right through them because all 5 guys are collapsed and only 2 of them are facing the right direction.
Yep. Yeah. And they collapsed so hard. Oh, yeah. I get it. I get giving them the outside shot, but if you're not going to play defense,
the outside shot is halfway up the circle.
And there you go. Well, Vegas. Derek England.
Yeah. That's a great segue. Yeah.
You know, and it was. You let those teams hang around and keep chipping away at it, and then eventually the team's just going to run all 5 guys through that door. Like you set up down low against the Leafs, you're set. Like you are set because not very many guys can skate and move you. So Polak and Borgman can move you. They can't keep up to the speedy guys, and they end up looking like pylons essentially. So that's where it comes in. And then you got Gardner and Riley who can skate, but then it comes into body positioning after that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Real tough. But leading into the Vegas game, that was one where I totally expected them to come out so flat, being the first game back after a road trip. But on the other side, they came out super fired up and basically just let Vegas hang around for most of the game, because it was 3-1 after the first period. And then Lagacé.
Yeah,
I keep calling them Legacy.
Isn't it Legacy?
No, it's Lagacé. They kept saying that in the broadcast because I keep being reminded of Manny Legacy.
Me too.
Yeah, not.
But I
the
thought
same
that's
guy.
what I heard them saying in the play-by-play.
Maybe I don't know. It's kind of like their other Russian guy, Shipyachov or Shipachyov.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I've heard Shipachyov. So
yeah, me too.
That's another story. Where the hell is he? But so yeah, essentially,
Maxim,
it was 3-1 after the
spelled the same as Manny. Sorry.
Oh, it's just in pronunciation.
He's from Toronto.
Come on,
eat it. Whoever said you got to do that. That's fucking lame. He's from Toronto.
French? His parents must be French. That has to be the case.
I don't know, or like maybe Slavic of one of those countries in that area.
I'm looking him up.
Do I have any other? I mean, honestly, he was one of the biggest like surprises. The only thing that I noticed with Vegas is like both teams were real rough. Like there's just a lot of mistakes all over the place. But it made for a lot of interesting chances and a lot of really like not great looking goals, but some really good looking saves.
And that was one thing, because from a Leafs fan perspective, overtime was freaking hell. Like it was back and forth, and you were just I was waiting for Vegas to score. On the other hand, when I see games like that for teams that I'm not emotionally invested in, I think that's amazing. I think overtime is great when there's no whistles, when it's chances back and forth and goalies are actually making saves.
Yeah. And
that's honestly, it looked like that's what was happening in overtime. But I was so invested in the Leafs in that it just seemed like it was Vegas. And then Matthews would get his chances, but he couldn't score.
Yeah.
Couldn't finish it off.
Well, I was going to say, like, he friggin' dangled the whole team. Like more than once.
Multiple times. Yeah. Like you see him have the puck and it's like, oh, there's 34.
Yeah, like, oh shit. Yeah.
Wait, that wasn't him?
Yeah, like, I know.
You can just tell when 34 and 29 have the puck. Like he just Nylander and Matthews forever. So in my eyes, in a very heavy Leafs bandwagon, I considered that, at least Leaf-wise, a loss. But for competitiveness and for hockey, you say it's a win. So that's what I would say
it's a win because it was fairly exciting. Like, as much as I wasn't looking forward to watching the Leafs all week, like there was some high-scoring games, a lot of chances, a lot of mistakes, which led to some crazy, like a lot of like holy shit moments.
Exactly. So while I was pulling my hair out, you were going like, whoa, like, whoa.
Yeah, like, oh, sweet.
Exactly. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that'll be one thing to think about when we bandwagon Montreal is
for sure.
Keeping that perspective as well. What's up, Kitty?
Hi, Kitty.
What's up?
All right, crap news. Talked about Roy plane crash. It was kind of crazy on Twitter. It was pretty crazy on Twitter this afternoon because between the news breaking that they found his plane and confirming that it was him,
it was like 15 minutes or 20 minutes of just like chaos.
Man,
like,
just like everyone's tweeting directly at him, going like, "Dude, answer us, dude, answer
Roy,
us."
Like, just tweet something, tweet us anything.
Yeah, like it was just, oh man, that's crazy. I've never really noticed. Like, I've never been following anything that closely while it was happening. But it's really crazy how powerful social media is when it comes to that kind of thing. It's
exactly.
Like, man, like I didn't think I was going to be upset, but just listening to everyone's reactions and like talking straight to the guy and being like, dude, answer us. Like, dude, answer us. It's just like, holy shit.
It gives another perspective to the day and age that we're in too, right? Because another perspective that Chris McMillan gave me was that, you know, he came into my office. He's like, he's for sure gone. Like, it's 2017. You have the time to text somebody back or to text somebody and say like, hey, I'm alive.
Yeah.
You know, or just to tweet it out, just like, I'm okay, guys.
No, for sure.
Or and you know, and there's
a variety of situations that could have happened, right? Like maybe maybe he wasn't dead, but he was in the plane, or blah blah blah, or, you know, like there's so many things that we were waiting to happen. That, I mean, I do agree with that, but at the same time, like, it's not just like, oh, he didn't write on Twitter, he's dead.
No, it's it's not. Yeah, it's not like, yeah. Oh, yeah. His Twitter's dead.
Yeah,
his Twitter's dead. He's dead. Huh?
Yeah.
But no, I guess because of the amount of
that's it.
I mean, it's just getting, like, right. You kind of expected to hear something.
Exactly, and then you start to think about like, well, what happens when it's not a celebrity? Like, when families hear that, are they just like sitting there, just like hearing there's an accident, just frantically texting their loved ones, going like, oh my god, they haven't answered. Oh my god, they haven't answered.
And that's why they had the press conference, was definitely to notify. Like, they had to know it was Roy Halladay right away. Yeah. And it was only to notify the family.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. You can't break that kind of news
through Twitter. Like, God,
no,
that would have been horrendous.
Yeah.
So yeah, rough day for
exactly. In baseball, I'm not a big baseball guy, but I'm a big Toronto guy. So
one last thing to end on: Canada. Halladay pitched a no-hitter in his first playoff game.
Actually, here, I'm going to bring up that tweet.
Yeah.
Just since we're
on him, yeah.
Yeah. That way we don't get all sad again at the end.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, we had a couple Doc Holliday tweets lined up, so we may as well bring them up now because they were going in the good tweets.
Yeah,
he didn't have very many crap tweets.
No. Take that, Drake. No Photoshop.
Yeah, no Photoshop needed.
No. Roy Halladay was so good, I actually trust him more than my actual doctor.
Yeah, he knew how to write prescriptions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that it for the Roy tweet?
I think that was it. I just had two quick ones, and then obviously.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got some. I'll leave that for later.
Yeah, that other one's good. I can see it in the background.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just gonna leave that looping in the thumbnail in the corner just in case. All right. So in hockey news, since we bandwagoned the Oilers, I thought it was of note that Kyler Yamamoto.
Kyler.
I don't know. Kids.
I was gonna say Kylie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jenner.
Yeah. Sent down. Not surprising, but it's crazy that he's young enough to go back to the WHL. I mean, from what we watched, he was a pretty, like, not a great NHLer, but totally serviceable. Like, if this was 3 years ago, the Oilers would have definitely made him stay up.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's a matter of not wanting to waste a year of his entry-level contract on trying to figure out what he is. I think they figured, you know what, go rip it up in the WHL, and then we'll come back and start this all over again.
Just strength training, get your NHL body rolling.
Yeah.
But he was doing, like I said, the games that I watched, he was like, he didn't look out of place. So I'm interested to see how he does in the W.
He clearly needs more time in the NHL. And I mean, you can't blame the guy. He's only played 9 games, right?
Yeah, so he's young enough that he's going back to the WHL instead of the AHL. So
yeah, at age 19, and last year, because we were talking before we went live, was he had 99 points in 65 games, and that was before he went through an NHL training camp and then played 9 games in the NHL. So I think it's, well, shoot, how many games have they played in the W? Do you think he could, like, are they far enough along that hitting 100 is out of the question?
I don't think so. I mean, like, I don't know.
I wouldn't think so. He'd be with the Spokane Chiefs. So let's see here. as we do our quick little research. Oh man, their website is just a flurry of color.
Oh well. Wait, what? Have you heard any of this? Actually, we'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait.
All right.
I have a question for you. And when you get to the Leafs segment.
Oh shit! I know what it is. Oh wait. I have a feeling it's going to be some sort of trade proposal.
Could you feel it in my outrage?
Yep.
I get upset.
Yeah, Spokane's only 8-7 right now, so they
they could.
They're gonna welcome him with open arms
for sure.
I don't know the names I recognize. I'm sure if Greg K from work is watching this right now, he's gonna be like, "Are you kidding? You don't know any of these guys on their team? These guys are prospects. They've been drafted by this team, and he ate this for breakfast." And
so he's Pierre Maguire.
Guy's a killer. Yeah, hell yeah. He loves his prospects. Every chance he gets, like he joins a fantasy hockey league just so that he can rebuild.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. That's so funny.
Telling me how he's like, yeah, I just traded Erik Karlsson for like 3 first-round picks. Oh, that's gonna be great in 5 years.
Yeah, sure.
When your friends aren't in the fantasy league anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right. Next in the news, is the biggest news that's happened all week. Biggest news all week. Blockbuster 3-way trade. Matt Duchene to Ottawa. Kyle Turris to Nashville, and a shitload of prospects and picks to Colorado.
More picks and prospects than Wayne Gretzky received.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
how's that? That's amazing.
That is so good. I know, like that's honestly. At first, I thought Ottawa lost the trade, but looking at they have Duchene practicing with Hoffman and Smith. And like that's gonna be fun to watch. So like I can see why they would put. I mean, that's a 1st-round pick. They're a previous.
It was 2 first-round picks, wasn't it?
Well, like the Sens gave up that guy that they picked first round last year, and then they gave them a 1st-round pick and a 3rd-round pick.
Okay, I thought it was okay. So I thought it was 2 first and a 3rd.
Yeah, but one of the first.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the first is an actual player.
Yeah, one of the first is a player. And that's also the prospect. So Ottawa gave up 3 pieces, a 1st-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and that prospect. And then the other prospects come from Nashville.
Interesting. And then they send then
they sent Turris.
That is so crafty by Sakic. Honestly, props to him for that, because
agreed.
He could have very easily just traded Duchene for Adam Larson.
Yeah, exactly. Biggest surprise for me was how impressive that is for Nashville. Like they basically just brokered a trade and got Kyle Turris.
Yeah. Like they helped another team finish a trade, and it's like, you know what do we get out of this?
Yeah, it's like here's a 2nd-round pick, here's a couple of defensive prospects when we're already pretty deep on that end. And it's just like, when
the news initially broke too, it was it was Darren Dreger saying, "Oh yeah, this is dead in the water. This is dead in the water, And
I bet you Nashville came back and was like, "We'll throw in some picks."
No, the only thing that was holding it up was Turris signing his contract extension.
Oh, right.
Because his agent was sitting at 7 or 8 years, and they wouldn't settle for 6. Well, they ended up settling 6 by 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's what took so long with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I personally, I think that's disgusting for all teams.
Agreed. So let's just like lay it out real quick. So Nashville, their top line right now, according to Daily Faceoff, I think, is Hartnell, Johansson, Arvidsson as of their last game or practice or whatever. So that makes me think like Forsberg's not up there.
Yeah, exactly. The most notable name.
And like I feel like their play styles would match up super well
even a fresh face. You know, a fresh face might help get guys out of their kind of muscle memory routines, or like thinking that so-and-so is going to be down low, or expecting them to be there every single time. It kind of opens up the creativity, right?
That's it. And like we were thinking that, like, why would Nashville need another center? But we went and we looked at their lines, and it looks like they have like Craig Smith on the wing, and like they don't look like a team that has 10 centers when it comes to their depth, or how
it's almost like they don't have definitive centers, and they also don't have definitive wingers other than the obvious.
Yeah.
It's like guys that can win faceoffs, but they'll also play the wing too when, I don't know, they're not playing bad. I mean, that's one team we haven't watched too, or at least I haven't watched too much of, is Nashville Predators.
I'd be down to do that. Like we didn't even do any pre-research for our bandwagon for next week, but I have the schedule up. So when we're done our tweets, we can bring it up and do it.
Yeah, because I put down a few suggestions, but
nice. Okay,
that was one that I hadn't thought about either, too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad you looked at it, because I thought that was just scribbles from the copied over one from last week.
Oh no, I threw down some suggestions.
Nice. I like it. All right. So to me, that leaves, like, when you're looking at Johansson, Turris, Bonino down the middle when he's back from injury, that all of a sudden really changes.
It's a great third line center too.
Yeah, and look at where they came up short against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
First they take Bonino.
It was not having Ryan Johansson.
Yep.
Yeah, and they didn't even have Johansson too. Like that's nuts.
The Bonino
wasn't
they had Johansson.
They had Johansson in the playoffs? I thought he got injured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I could have sworn it was him that had the injury, and then that was when it's like, oh crap, for Nashville.
Yeah. They also and then
their other center depth as well.
Yeah, and then they took Bonino from Pittsburgh.
Right.
So now they're the ones with the and so now you can put up Johansson against Crosby, Turris against Malkin, and Bonino against whoever replaced Bonino.
Yeah. Good Lord. That's pretty insane. Once you start thinking about it. Because you wouldn't even know if Colorado's going to win in this trade once their picks and prospects come through. Like 3 years from now, when if they win the Stanley Cup, then it's going to be considered a win.
100%. Because, I mean, what else? Like, I just feel bad for Landeskog and McKinnon that they're going to have to stick around for this rebuild.
Yeah, that sucks. Although it'll lead up into our next bandwagon of the week, but their upcoming who Duchesne could debut against is very interesting.
Yeah.
So then, all right, well, we'll jump into our crappy Leafs and Habs segment.
Yeah.
With your Habbies, what have you noticed this week other than Kyrie?
We're trending upwards, but mostly against mediocre teams. So it's like it's really hard to judge, but at least there's like points going up. Like we're not just sitting there with no wins. Lindgren had a great game against Chicago.
A little shutout debut.
Yeah.
Was that his NHL debut?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I probably should have looked into that. I didn't even watch the game. Was that last night or was that?
It was a Sunday night.
Sunday night. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was probably playing video games. But I'm hoping that, like, I don't know what's wrong with Carey, like whether he's hurting or whether he just needs to like hit the gym and focus or what the hell's going on. But like, it's nice to know that Lindgren, like if he can keep playing like that, that might take some pressure off for them to give Carey some time to, he doesn't have to be out, but he can play less frequently.
Yeah, well, exactly. And that was the whole thing with Carey Price is that, you saw the year that happened to the Montreal Canadiens when they didn't have Carey Price, they turned into a lottery team.
Yeah.
And so when you have a good goaltender and to answer that question before, that was his first game.
Yeah.
Lindgren's actually played very, very well. That was only his fourth game with Montreal. His first one was in 2015, and he made 26 saves, got a win.
Nice.
And then his next two games were last year, and he got 2 wins. And
nice.
The 949 save percentage, only let in 3 goals.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I knew we liked him, but I didn't know the stats. That's impressive.
And it's very strange too, because it's this year with Laval that he's actually having his worst numbers. He's played 9 games and he's putting up over 3.5 goals against and a sub 890 save percentage. And all his other seasons are above 900 easy. So It's very, very interesting that it's his bad season in Laval this year gets him into the NHL.
Well, I think it also has to do. I think it also has to do with the quality of the team that's down there. Like, the Habs have been pulling up a lot of guys from down there.
Fair enough.
So they may still be figuring stuff out too. I'm just so tired of like, are the Habs going to trade Carey Price? It's like
goddamn media.
I know, but it's like not only are you not gonna like, I mean, if they traded Subban, so I can't say like they're not gonna trade him, but like, are they really stupid that they're gonna take one of the most valuable players in the league and trade him at his least valuable?
Exactly. Or not even, or trade him and treat him as if he's not as valuable as he is.
Exactly.
You know,
and in which case, why would you trade him? Exactly.
Oh man. So then, which leads to our one of.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a lot of Leafs news because we bandwagoned them. I don't have much to touch on. They had a hellish road trip in California. They won games they should have lost. They lost a game they should have won. I mean, Matthews being out was a game time decision against Las Vegas with the soreness makes sense with the road trip playing the teams he did.
Yep.
Just today, actually. This is some news, is that they sent down Kasperi Kapanen, which has Leaf fans totally mad because they love Kapanen because he's skilled and he's a part of that whole Kessel trade.
For sure.
But they brought up Freddie the Goat. Freddie Goat.
Nice. Freddie the Goat.
Yeah, and I love him. Adrian Allen, if you're watching, you're not, but if you are, he's a beauty. Freddie the Goat. We loved him. He's up at center. Matthews didn't practice today. So I'm not taking anything into, a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to trade Bozak. They're going to trade somebody. They're going to sit Matthews. It's none of that. I think it's a maintenance day so that they don't mess with the lines too much.
On that note, I asked you about this earlier. I don't know if it made its way into our tweets or not, but while we're on the topic of it, somebody asked Nick Kyprios this morning. There's been rumors that Toronto and Edmonton may be coming up with a trade, and someone decided to ask Kyprios what he thought the value would be in a return for Marner, and to which he replied, Darnell Nurse.
Man, obviously, looking at it from an Edmonton Oilers, looking at it from a whole Larson point of view, and the best part is that no. God, no. Why would you trade Marner? Why would you do that? Like, Nurse is not going to put up half the points Marner does. And even if Nurse is more valuable defensively, I'm still not doing that. Not ever would I do that. That's insane. There you go. Look at what Duchesne just brought in.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And tell me that you're just going to give up or accept Darnell Nurse. Like, come on. Come on, Kippy. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look what Ottawa got in return. Like, I guess it's hard to judge what you get for Kyle Turris, but they didn't give up a whole lot.
Like, so you're saying Nashville didn't give up?
Yeah, like it's hard to judge in a three-way like that. But like they gave up 2 defensive prospects and a second-round pick, and they got Kyle Turris.
Yeah, because their prospects that they gave up are pretty good, apparently.
Yeah, for sure. But they're so deep on defense, from what I understand, that I don't think it's that big a deal. I don't know. But I just thought that was an interesting way of comparing.
Yeah. Leafs have a home and home against Boston this Friday and Saturday. That's about it. I think that should be pretty exciting.
Also, follow Père Noël on Twitter.
He's the reason we yell Carey.
Yeah, he's I love his videos. He's one of the few Habs fans, not few, but one of the more vocal Habs fans that are sticking with Carey. And he also predicted that GSP was going to choke out Bisping and put out an awesome video. So that was highly recommend trying to find him on Twitter.
Yeah, and so you'll be like, why are these guys are bilingual? Why would they suggest that to me? I'm not. I have no idea.
Dan can't speak French, and he still likes
no idea what he's saying, and it's amazing.
Yeah, because you can pick out people's names.
Oh yeah, you can hear the French names. Say Gary.
Just run it through Google. Run his tweet through Google Translate, and you'll get the idea of what he's yelling about. Yeah.
Yep, that's all I had to do, and you just know that it's great.
Yeah.
All right. Assume all this stuff in between.
Yeah. All right. So,
okay. So then, crap tweets with
crap
our
tweets. We're gonna start with our friend. Wait.
I was gonna say, why don't we start going from trade offer to trade offer too? Because Kippy had the Marner for Nurse, and then there was also Landsberg on TSN.
Oh, yeah, here we go. I gotta pull that one up. Hold on. I don't think I pulled that one up.
Okay,
here we go. All right, let me bring this. We're trying a new setup here where I bring up the things we're looking at on my laptop. Okay, so. Hey, Maple Leafs fans, would you trade Frederik Andersen and Mitch Marner straight up for Carey Price?
No shit. I mean, a lot of Leaf fans would be like, no, what are you doing? You don't trade Mitch Marner. Carey Price is injured all the time.
Yep. And I feel like a lot of Habs fans may or may not be stoked on that.
I mean, look at the voting's pretty darn close. It's 52-48. You're asking a base of Leaf fans.
I was gonna say, you're just like it goes to show you how the general fan thinks based on what the media presents to them.
Yeah, and it also shows how small-minded some Leaf fans can be in that you take the first 15 games, 13, 16 games, whatever it is, and you're about to trade Mitch Marner, and you know you're ready to trade them for.
I was going to say that.
I mean, for the world's best goalie, absolutely, I'd do that. Like,
yeah,
you know, what I mean?
From a Habs perspective, it's the exact same thing. Like, why the fuck are we trading Carey Price after 12 bad games?
Exactly.
It's like that trade has no plausibility whatsoever.
Yeah. So then we'll move on to our best friends.
Okay, so we're doing another special segment this week. It is
they were part of our bandwagon.
Yeah, but also we've been talking about them since we started this podcast because they're this man or woman or person.
I'd assume woman, maybe.
I don't assume. It's 2017.
Don't assume gender. Never.
But basically, we've put together a tutorial on how to run the Las Vegas Knights Twitter page. Keep in mind that every single one of the tweets that you are about to see was posted in the last day.
Every single one. This is not like a collection of the first week to the second week and then a few days here in between. This is all in the last 24 hours.
Yes. Like, it's crazy. Okay. Tweet one. Step one. Ensure that you try super hard to hit the minimum tweet count. So far, this game has been uglier than first episodes in every season of The Bachelorette.
I can attest to that.
Yes. I can also attest to the grammatics of this tweet.
It's just so painful. Everything.
Then first episode. Like, you got to get Grammarly, bud. You're getting paid to publish. Get Grammarly. All right. Next tweet.
He doesn't capitalize anything.
Nope. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure that comes up.
We get to that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get to that. The time for a hockey game is now, but also always. So I don't really understand what they're going for here, but again, thank you, Twitter.
Trying
Vegas,
to hit
Golden
that 10-year-old to 14-year-old demographic.
Yeah. But does that even like? I think it's just nonsense. I mean, I think it's just like, I think it's people like if they're like, yeah, new hockey fans, we really like hockey and hockey's awesome all the time.
Tweet quota.
And here's another one. We really hope we win tonight, but also every night.
Is that why? Okay, so that's a pattern. Why do they tweet like that?
I don't know.
But also,
so
is that a meme that we're missing out on?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But like, you gotta like hockey fans. Okay, maybe Vegas has a different type of fan than the rest of the league, but I don't know. So this brings us to the next tweet, which is a response to this tweet. Steam Bets says, "Why is a 10-year-old running this thing?" I know, right? That's definitely. Well, this guy's not even a real Twitter account, and they're just crushing the Golden Knights.
This Russian bot is just roasting tonight.
So why is a 10-year-old running this account? We're only 1 year old. Sorry, our team was founded in 2016. So I guess that explains their grammar, and now I'm kind of impressed. Also, this isn't the only joke that they made about only being 1 year old. So we're going to move on to the next one.
Oh, God.
So we have twitter.com. You only use lowercase letters. So immature. What are you, a 1 year old? Us. To start with, yes. Why, yes, we are. So, okay, so that's man. That. Step 3, constantly reference things you've never done as a team. Good news as we enter the shootout. We are undefeated all time in shootouts. Also undefeated all time in Toronto. To which this guy responded, not anymore. With
what's up, Carlton?
All right. So we got a point. As we head into OT, let it be said that the Vegas Golden Knights remain undefeated in regulation in Canada. So again, I'm glad you are aware that this is your first year as a team. I hope your fans are also aware. So this man here, Andre the Red Wing, basically summed everything up.
Very, very well.
Yeah, like way better than neither of us could. This account's development curve reminds me of Yakupov. So let's just leave it at that. I don't think that needs. If you need just, yeah, if you need that explained to you, this is probably not the podcast for you.
Actually, did you close that?
Yeah,
because that guy's Twitter bio was pretty darn good.
Okay, let's get back into this.
It takes a certain level of intelligence to understand the deeper meaning behind Blink-182's "I Want to Fuck."
I like this guy. All right, everyone go follow rcaddy_114 on Twitter. I'm giving him a follow.
Yeah, you got a Crapshoots hockey podcast follow. Big time.
Yeah. All right, so now we'll get into our good tweets of the week.
Angry Paul Maurice.
Angry Paul Maurice. Here we go.
Oh man,
not a fan at all. Fuck off. Fuck you. Fuck you too.
Fuck you too. Oh man, oh man. That's so good.
I know, I love it. That's awesome.
I don't like, honestly, I don't like giving Steve Dangle too much attention, but he gets enough attention and he likes attention. So he had a good tweet. I gotta appreciate the good tweet.
Yeah. Oh, he's a blogger at Sportsnet. I see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If me healthy was half of Matthew's sore, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
Same.
Give credit where credit's due.
Yep. Oh, here's a good. Any Ottawa natives, which I'm sure there's of our 0 viewers watching. There's tons of people from Ottawa. When Duchesne described why he chose 95, he admitted it was a little more flashy than he wanted. Love that. And the response: great OC Transpo sponsorship opportunity too. The 95 is the main route that the OC Transpo runs through, like downtown and out to Nepean, and I believe also the other side.
Oh, it goes everywhere. Yeah. Like it was one of those ones where you jump on for 45 minutes drunk and then get downtown and realize, oh my God, I just want to go home.
Yeah. Like,
I'm back on.
Why did I pre-drink?
Yeah. Free drink was good enough.
Yeah.
And then really dissecting the Colorado Avalanche trade with Ottawa and Nashville. For a first line score, you could either get, Girard, Kamenev, Hammond, Bowers, a first, a second, and a third. Or you can get Adam Larson.
You could almost argue that Taylor Hall would be worth more than Duchesne too. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like
this is going to be your most retweeted tweet. Yeah.
Acting the Foolman.
Acting the Foolman. I'm a fan. Getting a follow too.
Oh, careful. He writes for the pension plan puppets. They are reactionary AF.
Oh well. I still like the name and I like that tweet.
Yeah. And actually the pension plan puppets are a pretty good name too.
Yeah.
Bandwagon.
Bandwagon. So
I had I think a pretty interesting one right off the top is the Avalanche, because their only 2 games are against the Ottawa Senators, and that could potentially be Duchesne's, debut game, and those games are also in Sweden, in Stockholm.
I think that definitely deserves an honorable mention.
Yeah, 100%, because going overseas, because you got the Swedish sensation with Gabriel Landeskog, right? And
Erik Karlsson,
right? So both those guys are going to be fired up. So I would expect Colorado to at least put in one solid game.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I think
the other one I had was...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say Columbus looks pretty good. They're playing Nashville, who we talked about saying that we kind of really want to watch them.
We already bandwagon Columbus, though. That's the only problem.
That's true. It's Carolina, Detroit are 2 that we also haven't really watched much of. Yeah,
and I would have suggested Carolina. Carolina was kind of like they were there until I noticed. That's
not
bad,
actually.
So New Jersey is another one. They're playing really, really good hockey. They're playing St. Louis, Edmonton, Florida, and Chicago.
Chicago back to back though. That might, dude, that's pretty good.
They could go into that Chicago game pretty darn tired.
Yo, Islanders. Then it's just the same 3 teams that we pick whenever your team is playing them.
I had the Islanders down too, but it's like we're watching the same teams when we watch the Islanders. Kind of. The only difference is that we're watching the Islanders.
Yeah, for sure.
So New Jersey's not bad.
No, I agree. I like New Jersey, and I like again Washington.
I don't mind Vegas. They only got 2 games. It's Montreal and Winnipeg. Winnipeg's playing really, really well too. That I didn't check.
No,
they don't.
Yeah, so that's not bad either.
Because Montreal's playing well. They both got goaltenders who are just no background.
Mm-hmm. It's just too bad it's only 2 games between now and the next podcast.
Exactly right.
I'd give that one another honorable mention. What about? I was gonna say I like Washington's schedule, but we've watched Pittsburgh and Edmonton enough, but we haven't really watched Washington or Buffalo. They play tonight. I like New Jersey. Let's go with New Jersey.
Me too. Yep, absolutely. New Jersey. They got St. Louis tonight. Edmonton. Wait a second.
No, Nashville. Never mind. Nashville plays Columbus and Pittsburgh. Yeah, only 2 games.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, I'm in New Jersey, everyone. We're following New Jersey.
St. Louis, Edmonton, Florida, and Chicago.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone, for coming out for the podcast. Be sure to tune in next week.
Yeah, and spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah, do that.